Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today on this episode, I wanted to real quick answer a question that I got from multiple different viewers regarding Carolina rigs. And, you know, I've been talking about fishing Carolina rigs a lot in recent videos because it's Carolina rig season. You know, it's time to start looking at offshore structure and those areas where those fish are starting to move to for their summertime patterns. And a Carolina rig is just a phenomenal technique for that type of situation. And the question that I got from multiple different viewers is, can I use braid with a Carolina rig? Now, if the question is really, can I use braid? Is it possible to use braid? Absolutely. You can use braid with a Carolina rig and have some level of success. But if the question is braid the best option? I would say no. Braid is definitely not the best option for Carolina rigging in my book for several reasons. And so let's talk about those reasons. The first reason I don't like using braid with a Carolina rig, or really anything that I'm dragging on the bottom, is because braid tends to snag your presentation more than, say, fluorocarbon does. And I think that there's a lot of different reasons for this, but if you're fishing any type of area that has any wood cover, braid, one of the things that braid does not do well is come through wood cover. And the reason for that is, as you're dragging the braid that has a braided texture to it, it's kind of almost like a saw-like texture, it'll actually dig into that cover, that wood, especially since the wood is already kind of soft and breaking down a little bit. It digs into it, and then by the time the weight gets to that target, it's created this little channel and the weight gets stuck on it. So it snags on cover way more. And I think that it does the same thing around a rock. It may not dig into the rock, but I feel like the lack of stretch really doesn't give you any, any wiggle room when it comes to dragging it through. You know, I think that if you're coming through some rough terrain with fluorocarbon, there's so much stretch in it that it won't like dig into the cover and wedge itself into that rock as much as it does with braid right away. I mean, there's just no stretch with braid. So I really feel like around rocks and wood, it just does not perform very well. And another thing that I don't think braid does very well is it is super strong. There's no doubt about that, but I don't think that braid does very well grinding around rocks very much. You know, it does great cutting through vegetation. I mean, it is the best line for that. It's far superior to like fluorocarbon or monofilament. But when it comes to all the little abrasive surfaces that you have on the bottom, I think that braid really gets ate up pretty quick. And you may have 65-pound braid on, but it can get chewed up very quickly. And I think that you end up breaking off fish because you're using braid in those scenarios. But another reason why I really don't like braid is the fact that there is no stretch, you know, and that's a problem in several different, situations. But the biggest situation, I think the lack of stretch gives you a disadvantage when fishing Carolina rig, is the fact that you may be using braid as your main line, and you think that it's really strong and all that, and it probably is. But when it comes to the lighter leader that you're using with a Carolina rig, you know, I use anywhere from 12 to 15-pound test, a gold label fluorocarbon leader material. That's much lighter than my main line is when I'm fishing a Carolina rig. And so that is the weakest link. And so you don't want a line that is so strong and has so little stretch in it that when you go to set the hook, you break your leader material constantly. And that's one of the issues that you will 100% see with using braided mainline with a lighter fluorocarbon leader, which is the norm, okay? Is that the lack of stretch with the braid is really going to put way too much pressure on your leader material, and you don't want a main line that just doesn't have enough give in it, enough stretch, enough elasticity to be able to compensate for that lighter leader material. So those are the reasons why I don't like using braided line with a Carolina rig. And there's probably some other reasons that I'm forgetting, but really when it comes down to it, it's about how efficiently it can come through cover and work over the bottom, how good it is with the abrasion resistance on the stuff on the bottom, and also how it interacts with the strength of the leader that you're using. Those are all key concerns that I have when I'm fishing with braid on a Carolina rig, which I don't do. So anyways, guys, hopefully that answered the question in some roundabout way, but keep those questions coming. I love answering viewer questions in videos just like this. So if you do have a topic that you want me to cover in a future video, drop that topic below. And also, one of the greatest gifts that I get from this channel, from sharing my fishing knowledge on this YouTube channel, is getting feedback from you guys who I've helped to be more successful on the water. So if you have a situation that you'd love to share with me, where I helped you catch your personal best, or helped you have success with a new technique, please send me a message either in the comment section or send me an email at sonar@sonarfishing.com. I love hearing stuff like that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. I'm going to see you out on the water. Always trust the process.